Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Symphonia at Home. Today, we're here with Andrés Cárdenes, guest conductor and violin for the Symphonia. Hello.
Hello, Rachel. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. So my little cousin, Amanda, plays violin. She's a teenager. Yeah. Do you have any advice, words of wisdom, any messages for the younger generation of violinists coming up?
Oh, I have a lot of advice. I have a lot of good things to tell them. First of all, you just learn to love playing. There's so many good things about playing. You don't have to be a violinist at my level to go out and enjoy it. First, there's so many personal, I guess what it is, just blessings that you get from playing. First of all, it really helps your mental acuity. Because you have to concentrate and you have to do 4 or 5 things at the same time. Because you have a right-hand technique, you have a left-hand technique, you've got a sound that you've got to produce, you've got an intonation that you've got to work on, you've got interpretation to deal with, you've got disciplines of shifting and playing scales and bowing exercises. You can never do enough. You will never stop learning to play the instrument as well as you can. It's a never-ending pursuit. And so you should enjoy your time with the music, enjoy your time playing with your colleagues. I think this is actually a little bit unique perhaps to my career. When I was a kid, of course, every kid grows up dreaming of being a soloist. That's the ultimate dream. Everybody wants to be like Itzhak Perlman or Heifetz. And I admired Leonard Bernstein. He was my model, because Leonard Bernstein was a conductor, and he was a pianist, and he was a composer and a lecturer, and the most brilliant mind probably in music of his time. His conducting was fabulous. His passion for music was limitless. I always wanted to model my life as being a complete musician, not just being a soloist. So I loved being a concertmaster. I loved being the first violinist of an orchestra, major orchestra. I loved playing chamber music. I still have 2 trios that I play in, piano trio and a string trio. I'm very passionate about chamber music. I co-founded the Joseph Gingold International Chamber Music Festival in Miami, and it's named after my teacher. And it's about playing chamber music and teaching young people how to play chamber music really well and collaborate, and based on the virtues and ideology of my teacher, Mr. Gingold. I spent a lot of time in that area, and of course, conducting is another major part of my career. I always wanted to be a conductor. I've been conducting since I was 13.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I just wanted to be a complete musician. So a young person should look at music as such an all-encompassing endeavor. You don't have to be a great violinist. Not everybody is destined to do this, but you can love to play with your colleagues. You can love the repertoire, playing an orchestra. You can love, listening to music, being a great audience member. Hopefully this will be a lifelong passion of hers, and she is our future in terms of audience as well as possibly colleagues. And maybe she'll be really good and she'll do contemporary music and champion young composers that really need the exposure and help. And they need like archetypes to help them, champion their music. So in my case, for instance, being Hispanic and Cuban, I'm one of the very, very few Hispanic violinists out there. So I always felt it was my duty and my calling to support and help every Hispanic composer I could to try to promote their music and have a vehicle. They needed a vehicle, and I was their vehicle. So I commissioned and premiered many, many concertos by Hispanic composers. So you never know where it can lead you. And it's a proven fact, of course, that the mental acuity from playing and being a musician is fantastic. It helps your schoolwork. Many doctors are former violin players, believe it or not.
Wow.
Many. In fact, a very cute anecdote. my friend Daniel Heifetz, who runs the Heifetz Institute in Virginia, his father was a very famous neurosurgeon, a brain surgeon, and an amateur violinist. And when Daniel was in the 1978 competition in Moscow, they interviewed his father in Los Angeles, as that's where we both lived. And they interviewed him on the radio, and they asked him, so you're a violinist and a neurosurgeon. What's more difficult? He said, neurosurgery is easy. Something easy. Be a neurosurgeon. He said, if you want to do something hard, play the violin. And he said, and I can tell you that from my own experience, that's exactly how I feel. He
Wow.
said, it's nothing compared to playing the violin. It's much. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
I've always been grateful for that. For that comment. I always thought, yeah, people don't realize how hard it is to play the violin well.
No. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he became a neurosurgeon, and he attributed playing violin to being a very big part of his, like I said, he's a doctor. And he said it really gave him the discipline and the focus and also the eye-hand coordination of being a surgeon. You know, when you're playing the violin and you've got to coordinate everything, a very fine muscle structure and lightning quick fingers and decision making under duress in front of 3,000 people. You know, when you get used to the pressure of that, then when you're in a hospital room, you know, there's pressure, there's life and death pressure, but nonetheless, it does help you to have these skills. And so that's why music is great for everybody, you know, listening to it, playing it, studying it. And you don't all have to be a great violinist or a great cellist or a great conductor. You don't. It's just a great skill to have.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that.